right. Cool. As always, technical difficulties on Josh's end as soon as I hit the go live button. So, I guess we'll be hanging here for just a second until he can get his life back together. All right, he's back.
Am I here? I'm here.
Yeah. All right.
Hey.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So, special show today, during which we will be talking about our experience at Adepticon. But now that we're all here, welcome to another episode of the Old Man Gaming Hour.
Or so.
For some of you guys might be new watching this video because we did do a bunch of reach out and try to shamelessly, I guess, promote ourselves during Adepticon week. So if you don't know already, I'm Jake. That's Josh down there. And we do a little bit of a show, probably averaging bi-weekly shows here on YouTube. Yeah, what's up, Mike? But
hear about how you
oh, he's super excited. I know it. I know he's super excited for my performance. But yeah, anyways, we just do a small talk show, kind of.
Small. It's like fucking 3 hours sometimes. We just walk.
Well, I didn't say short. I said small.
Okay.
Yeah,
small,
it's different.
Like viewership.
Yeah. Well, already we got John. Congratulations, John, for being the newest YouTube subscriber.
Love to see that.
John says it's past his bedtime, but he'll listen to my my tenor voice to lull him to sleep.
I like to hear that. I like to see it too.
I do have that little bit of a bassy vibrato, I suppose. Comforting it, in fact, almost always while you're going to sleep, to hear another man's deep voice.
I don't know.
Suppose.
I don't like your voice that much.
It must be why you talk to me all the time.
Like, what are you trying to say?
I think you're digging it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, you're the only guy I can play on a regular basis other than Ethan, so I don't have an option. If Mike was around more, I would just invite him over.
Oh, yeah. Mike, stop being so busy. We'd like to get some games in. And Mike's going to say, well, I play on TTS almost every night.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, and that's why you're better.
Yeah.
That's why you're better.
But off the rip, I think we want to just, I don't even know if we touch this category every week, but I know it's a little bit like the last couple of weeks we haven't had much, but outside of Warhammer this week, I've done nothing but do Adepticon shit. Oh, I take that back. During this week, I did take one night, what was it, Saturday, right? That I went out with the girls.
Yeah.
So we just perused a local, like, kind of like a outside mall. I went and had dinner, whatever, but it's not like super exciting stuff.
We also went to dinner at some place. Who's on third? We did that on the first night.
Oh yeah, that was actually pretty good. It was a local kind of like a dive bar, but they were heavy themed into the Milwaukee Bucks in there.
Yeah,
and that was kind of cool too.
And then what was it? Friday night we went over to the Avenue. And had some dinner and some drinks. It was the TO and internet celebrity get together.
Yeah, that was kind of neat to see a bunch of guys that you watch on the old YouTubes.
Yeah, we didn't talk to very many of them because I don't know. I always feel weird. Like if I was I don't know. I don't know that they want to freaking be bugged all the time, 24 hours, 7 days a week. We did talk to AoS Coach at Adepticon, which was pretty cool. He stopped and chatted with our little group we were standing around with, a bunch of old man gaming guys. So that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that was really
outside Warhammer.
I suppose so, in a sense of that it wasn't outside of Warhammer at all.
Yeah, and then also we talked to Dustin, who sets up. He's an old friend of mine, and he sets up lots of the vendor hall for Adepticon. He's in charge of that whole thing, and so we kind of not negotiated. We just kind of opened the door to maybe having some help from them getting going next year for our GT. As maybe like kind of a primer for the Adepticon rules pack. So
yeah,
that would be a big deal if they give us a little advertisement and stuff on their website. So yeah, maybe something will come of that. So
yeah, stay tuned.
A couple things we did outside of Warhammer. So what's on your work desk?
Well, funny you should ask that. I actually didn't. Well, oh wait, I do have something. I did something today.
I know.
The day we got back from Adepticon, I put in work, boys.
I like to see it.
Sneak peek. It's probably super hard to see.
It's a little blurry.
But this is the oh, you can't do it over there. This is the con exclusive Space Wolf Marine that they gave out after the preview show on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get 2 of these.
I got one.
But I just built it when we got home because I've never built a 40K model that wasn't an alien. So I was like, oh, I'll build it and then see how cool it is. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Space Wolves are cool. I don't know. I mean, when you showed it to me, you sent me a picture. It looks just like a fucking Space Marine.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, what is on here that's supposed to distinguish this dude to be a Space Wolf? I don't really know. I mean, I don't know anything
about. It's got like the chain on it with a tooth hanging from the one.
Yeah.
Pretty much it on that model, I think.
Yeah, that's the only thing that really looked kind of different. He's got like a tooth and a like feather or something hanging off his elbow of his other arm, but in either case, that's what they were handing out. So I built it when I got home. But yeah, that's what I did. But okay. Josh has a story about what was on his work desk up until the evening before the AoS championships.
Well, yeah. So I put in work. I was painting every day after or before or even at work. I did 3 days of painting straight. Actually, probably 4 days of painting, 5 days of painting at work. Put in 8-hour shifts of painting between patient care and different things. And then I even got one of my coworkers to do a little bit of work for me. She painted my train piece. So if anybody ever asks if I painted my entire army, it'll be a no, because she did a lot of work for me. She's begged me for like 2 years to let her paint something, and I was always like, no, fuck off. Nobody paints my shit but me. And then I was getting there, and I was like, shit, this is gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. So I was like, why don't you try to paint these loincloths on these fucking trolls? And she did a real good job. And so I was like, you know what? You're hired. Here we go. So I just started handing her colors and said, okay, paint this. And she did a great job. So she helped me out big time. I wouldn't probably had that train piece nearly as close as I did. But I got the trolls done enough. And I must have impressed the judges a little bit. Ethan got a 70 on his paint with the IDK that I painted. And then I got a 60, I think, on my not quite done trolls. So
yeah,
I'm real happy about it. I'll be honest.
If there was even a small little bone I would have to pick with how that was done, I seen my paint score, and it was a 55.
Oh, my half-done army did better than yours.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
that's hot.
I guess I would say it wasn't consistent paint judging. All right, what's up, Guru? New follower on Twitch.
Hey, Guru, what's going on?
But I'm not gonna. I'm not. No, I'm not gonna yell at anybody. But they had
max points. He got 50 points.
Yeah, I didn't care about that. I was just kind of like, huh. Couldn't even do as good as Josh speed painted army.
I didn't.
Sweet.
Speed paint my army.
The IDK you did.
Yeah, and that army looks fucking good.
It does look good. I'm just saying, mine was also complete and done.
Ethan's army's pretty complete and done. We're talking about our Adepticon experience, and then we're gonna run down how we did in the tournament, and probably talk about the winners and some different things like that. That's the plan.
Yep. Guru, did you attend Adepticon, or are you just catching the show for the first time?
It's Grogu. I think it's Grogu.
Oh, that is Grogu. I read it like backwards.
I
mean,
you're
dyslexic.
I think you said to me multiple times in the car that if I could read, I wouldn't be a destruction player. So,
well, what'd you play? Destruction.
Yeah, and I'm all in, Mike. I'm all in on fucking Gits. I had too good of a time. I'm gonna fucking suck because 4+ to hit is dumb. But I'm all in Gits. So
I did fine.
In fact, I have more. Let me finish up. Since I've gotten home, I have started to build my Git Mob models, my wolves. I'm gonna definitely add the character. I'm gonna change some things around because, yeah, it's a wild ride for sure. I'm definitely adding the wolf riding character because he gives the -1 to hit and a 9-inch aura, and so I'm adding him to the list. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably not lean into the unpainted goblins. But that's excellent advice. I know you like the goblins, and I also like goblins. It was my favorite army when I was growing up, 17 years old, so 30 years ago. So Grogu didn't go. He's been watching on paper how it went. You should go next time.
Yeah.
I would say there were some growing pains. Are we getting into it? No, we got.
Let's talk about. We'll touch on those topics in a sec, but but the bottom line is you should go. Outside of playing in events, which is always fun, there's enough there to do to walk around and look at stuff and shop and get to mingle with a bunch of people you wouldn't normally be able to. So I think the experience is part of it also. But yeah, it's definitely an event you should try to go to.
Yeah, I think I introduced you to probably about 100 people that you didn't know that I've met through the years.
Yeah, 100's pretty close.
Yeah, maybe an exaggeration.
But it's still pretty cool.
There was a lot of people. You get to know people. You build your connections in the community. So it's the way to go.
But before we get into Adepticon, what we do want to talk about is some upcoming events that either we're going to go to or host. So we'll do that in our upcoming events segment here. So, the upcoming events, let me find them here real quick. The next one is High Ground Brewski GT, which is on April 12th and 13th. And that's in Milford Township. It's at a brewery. I don't know the name of the brewery because we're actually kind of like next to the brewery, but kind of attached to it. But that's ran by Sean and the High Ground guys. I think last year they had 72, and I think 72 is the max at that in that room, I believe. But they've already sold 72 tickets, so we're full there. If you do want to get on a waiting list, though, they are taking names just in case there's drops, and there will be leading up to that. So that's the next one we're going to. And then they're supposed to have, and I don't know if they've posted any recent pictures of it, but they're supposed to have some. What is the what's the sword that they're having? Is it a chaos sword? Have you seen the pictures of that?
No, I have no idea.
Every year they commission a weapon or
right,
a weapon a weapon or two or whatever. I think they have a big weapon for first place and then small weapons for second and third. And I think it's either a chaos sword, a Slayer of Kings, Mike said it's called. So that's the sword they're going to give away, and I think they got like 2 orc-ish daggers that they're going to give out also for prizes. So that's very cool. These guys are local guys to us, so if you can support them, that'd be awesome.
It looks like there's a 3-round tournament in Australia coming up, Grogu. March 28th, 6 p.m. in Red Cliffs, Vic, Australia. Run by Craig Sanders. It's going to be 3 rounds. So that's a RTT. That's all I got for you. I just looked it up for you. You could go on Best Coast Pairings. It's the app or the website that people use to try to find tournaments, and you'll probably be able to get some better luck knowing kind of you can give it a little closer area to you to see what you got going on. Yeah, High Ground's going to be fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing Gits. You're going to be playing Feck. And
yep.
You got to hope that we don't get a fucking nerf in the next fucking 6 days. You're like holding on to your...
Well, I mean, whatever. If it is, it is. If not, I'll get one more tournament at least.
I'd like to see you get one more in it with Mike there.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, because then either he'll beat your ass or he won't be able to talk shit. So
I would love to beat Mike's ass one day.
Oh, he'll beat your ass. That's what I.
Oh, how did he do at Adepticon?
How'd you do, Mike? How was Adepticon for you?
Yeah.
The Dayton one I thought about going to. We're not in Australia, brother. We're in the United States. We live in Michigan in the U.S.
Yeah, I know, Dan. I know they. I know that they said that. So they just didn't want me to destroy their tournament. I think that's what it was. They backed up the date. They made an announcement, so they backed up their cutoff date. I think it was to April 4th or something like that, if I remember right.
That'll be Thursday, I think, right?
It's Friday.
We do have a Discord.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Grogu, you can go. That's the easiest way to get this to you. Here, I'll get it. Continue the conversation, Josh, while I grab this.
So, yeah, so we are going to, after High Ground, I am definitely going to the Trash Clash in the Bluegrass down in Kentucky in Lexington. That is on the 26th of April. That is Clay's friend of the show, friend of ours, Clay's tournament down in Kentucky. We told him, what's up, Tim? What's up? We told him that we were going to be going to his if he came to ours. He didn't come to ours. So Jake said, go fuck yourself. And he's not going.
I didn't say that.
He said, I'm not fucking going.
I didn't say that.
And so I felt bad. So I decided, fuck it, I'm going to go because I'm a friend. So I'm signed up for that one. That one is in Lexington. No, I did see the one. It's at the Air Force Base, right, Mike? The one in Dayton. Jake's not going to it.
That's the Air Force Base one. I didn't see.
Mike, do you have a date on that one?
Yeah, it sounds like I said. Sounds like I said fuck him. It sounds like that, Mike, but I didn't say that.
He's got some kind of family trip. His wife told him no. So
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Do you got a date on that one in Dayton? Is that after the Trash Clash? May 31st. I don't know what my May schedule is looking like. My May schedule is fucked.
A month after High Ground, or a month and a
in May, don't we?
Oh,
May
that's
10th?
right. And that's what I was gonna say. After High Ground and after the Trash Clash, we have our May RTT set up for the 10th of May, and that's in Monroe.
Yep, that is episode 1 of this season, 2025 season. So we're keeping track of stats. We're gonna have a 5-game season leading up to our GT, and I believe the winner, the best overall for our season, we may give a free pass to for our GT. I think we've talked about doing that.
Yeah, we've talked about some different things. I don't even know if we got them all kind of set in stone, but I think we should probably iron that out before May 10th. Yeah, Blue Powerade, always Josh, always with the Blue Powerades.
It's pretty much these bad boys right here. I just got them at Kroger. They're at Kroger right now for 88 cents. I am buying them out tomorrow. So if you guys want Blue Powerade and you're in the Temperance Lambertville area, I would go now, because I will be buying every fucking one they have tomorrow.
Wow. Okay. Well,
yep. They will have none.
Good thing I don't go to that Kroger.
Well, if you did, you'd be fucked.
Or it's a good thing I don't have an addiction to Blue Powerade, because those are gross.
Healthy. It's a healthy snack. Okay. All right. I think you're talking about a 40K chapter. Sounds like to me.
Phantom Shadow. Sounds cool.
Sounds kind of cool, though. Yeah. I like it.
Oh, geez. I didn't even realize till right now. I mean, we've been busy for this whole week, but apparently we have 17 out of the 24 tickets sold for May.
17 out of 24, I guess. Yeah. If you want to come play, you better pay.
That would be...
we're filling up fast, and we always do.
There are only 7 more tickets left, and it's a month away. So.
You got to get Ethan on that. So there's going to be 18 more tickets left here shortly.
Yep. But after that...
Tim, we're going to talk about Adepticon. That's our main topic. We'll get to
it. After our May RTT, we have the June one up posted on BCP. We're still ironing out the rules for that. So if you happen to go into this one and click on it, there is a rules Google Doc that we're preparing, and that'll describe, once we get it all written out, exactly how this is going to go. As you can tell, it's the random Army Day event.
That's in June, not in May.
Yeah. I've said after May we're going to do one in June. Yeah. So we'll be hosting this one also, still at our house games in Monroe, June 21st. But the general idea of this one will be to everyone bring an army with certain list building restrictions, because we're trying to make it a little bit of a simpler gameplay for all the armies involved. But you write your own list, you bring the army to the event, and then you randomly draw a different army to play with. Whatever. We'll do the draft order, but then you pick a different army to play with than what you brought.
You can pick your own. That's going to be the main rule. And we're going to have a special prize for whoever provides the game-winning list and army. So you are not going to be able to play with your own army, but if your army wins, you get a prize. Mm-hmm. Going to be cool.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
The reason we're doing that is because we figure June, July is when we're going to get the drop for the new GHB. And so
this will, it'll be a fun event just to close the current one out.
Close out the current GHB. So good times.
And this one will also count as the second game in our season. So that'll be kind of fun too.
Yep.
Now, does that cover all the events?
That's all the events we got coming up, unless we add on that one in Dayton, which we haven't discussed that close.
Yeah. Okay.
Tightly. But 31st, we got a little bit of time before, as long as it's not full.
Sure.
So I guess it's sponsors and shout outs. And then also, before we get to that, because why not, let's just hit the like button, the subscribe button, the follow button. All three. It's the trifecta triangle. And then hit our link tree that we just linked in the chat here, and let's go ahead and join our Discord, our Facebook, our Instagram, our fucking Snapchat. We got it all because we're like millennials or whatever people do that kind of shit. You can play Beasts.
We got all the shits.
You could bring Beasts for someone else to play, but you wouldn't be able to play it. I think. No, wait. Is June when that ends? When do the two get eliminated?
When we get the new GHB, I think it'll be.
So you'll have time. Yeah, bring the Beasts. Make somebody play that fucking dumpster fire. It'll be fun. That's like it's more fun.
Tim's gonna show. This is the event where Tim will show up with his fucking 400 gores, Beast of Gores or whatever.
No, it's not the first. I can't remember what date we are doing it. It doesn't matter. We'll talk about that, Tim. If it drops, maybe we'll still let you play it or bring it, because I mean the rules are still there technically. I don't know how they're going to do it, if they're going to eliminate them from the list. But,
that will be interesting though, because they may remove them from the app prior to the GHB launch. Maybe
do that, and
it'll be too hard to figure out. Maybe
you'd have to bring one of your other fucking 6 armies, so it's fine. And you have to win the draft, because I will fucking, if I'm ahead of you, Mike, I'm picking whatever army I think you want to play to keep you from doing it. And I'll lose every game. I don't care. I just don't want you no. So, all right. Well, let's talk about our sponsors and our shout outs.
Yep. So, as always, Gray Matter Gaming is our day one. What do the kids say? Day one, forever one, or fuck, I don't know, whatever the hell I'm trying to say.
I don't know what kids say.
That Gray Matter is our first sponsor ever, and we will continue to be with them as long as they will have us. And right now, if you would like, you can check out their website and get 5% off with code OMG. Yeah, support Andy and the crew, because they're phenomenal. Even better people than business partners or whatever.
I agree.
Yeah, very cool. Every time I've ever had any time talking with Andy or the guys with Gray Matter Gaming, they take the time. They are super in tune to the conversation, and they started their business wanting to help people be gamers. So it wasn't like, oh, well, maybe we could just do this to make some money. So they've helped us get our crew off the ground with some donations and a little bit of lending of some items so we could get going. So we're forever grateful for Gray Matter Gaming to be one of our sponsors.
That's what the kids do. That's my Taylor Swift.
Oh, there you
Gray
go.
Matter Gaming.
Yeah.
That's some homo shit. So, anyways, anybody else you want to talk about?
Nope.
All right. Well, then I guess it's fucking go time.
Look at that. We got through all the sections in under 30 minutes.
I love to see that.
That's pretty good.
All
right, fam. Adepticon Recap Show starts now.
Run it.
Okay. So, we went to Adepticon. The end.
Fucking crushed it.
Winning. No, so we got out. We arrived out into Milwaukee at the new venue on Wednesday. Look, let's start there because, what they need to be able to do going forward is to prevent the fuckery of chaos Wednesday evening was. I think, like, so it was day one for everyone. You know, all the volunteers, all the workers there, every fucking buddy trying to get their badge, and it was like you walked in, you went through their metal detectors because they have those there, and then it's like, okay, where do we go? I don't even know. We just followed the fucking mob of people.
Yeah, there was no signs. There wasn't shit. Nobody told us anything. We just had to fucking wing it. And I feel like that day, they really dropped the ball.
Yeah.
However,
and not to say that this event was ran poorly. I did like when you came into a brand new venue for the very first time, like if no one's ever been there for this event, so it wasn't like you already kind of knew where to go and didn't need signage. You needed signage that said with arrows or something that was like registration right, like, over here.
Way, stand in this line.
Yeah. But then when you got up to the floor that we were actually on, there wasn't even the registration booth was there, and there was a shit ton of people standing in front of it, which also made it hard to see like exactly what it was at first.
Right.
But then there was no like queued line where they had someone standing there and said, "This is the line here. Come stand in this line for registration." Or like they had two separate. Come to find out, anyway, they had two separate lines: one to pick up your badges, and one for registration if you needed to register for anything. So I don't know. It was ultimately okay, but it was a little bit like, what the fuck is happening here?
I was like anxious. Like,
yeah, you were.
I don't like this fucking place. Yeah. I'm stressed out. Like,
he was. Josh was getting tilted on it.
I like to fucking have clear fucking. I want to know what I have to do. I don't want to have to fucking talk to people that I don't know. I don't want to fucking.
Well, I think it's just like one of those things when you get a massive amount of people all coming for the same reason. Like everybody was there to pick up their badges. There wasn't any events going on. Like, so everybody was just clustered all in all these spots.
There were a few vendors in the hallway, but that was it.
Yeah, but whatever. And then you couldn't get back inside the badge area once you walked out. They said no, and we're like, I'm still standing in here. What?
Yeah, I left.
Kind of weird.
I was trying to get Ethan's badge because I had to get him registered, and then register for the tournament because we showed he joined from the wait list. And so I went out, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, you can't do that today." So I was like, "Oh, all right. Well, I'll just do it tomorrow. No big deal." So then I went to go back in, and they're like, "No, too many bodies in there." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just want to go to the GW store." And he said, "No, they're not. They changed it. We're opening in an hour late. They're open at 8." I go, "There's people in the store right now." He goes, "Yeah, no." I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to tell you about that because I was literally standing in the store.
Right. Well, it opened at 7, but they didn't want to let people back in until 8, just because of the amount of people in the line, which is whatever. So after that, we kind of laid low. We went directly to the ballroom.
Oh, so yeah.
We could get in line for the preview.
True.
You want to talk about you want to even, like, should we even fucking talk about the goddamn preview? Because.
Okay, here's the skinny on the preview. I think I actually pulled this up, so we can go through this real fast because for the AoS content that we put out, I will show you what was announced. A new
don't blink.
A new spearhead box at the end. It was like.
No, it was 4 new spearhead boxes.
I know. Hold on.
0 new models.
So
all fucking just repackaging.
No, well, not. It was 1 new box. It was the new spearhead Sand and Bone gaming pack, which you got some new terrain pieces and new board. The terrain pieces are just fences and walls, whatever. It's kind of death themed. It looks like
Sand and Bone. Is what it says.
So
maybe sand on the other side. I don't know.
So it gives, I'm sure it's a dual-sided board. But which one? Oh, and then the new announced boxes are the one with cities with the Fusiliers, and then the hunting pack of dudes. And it comes with the ogre with the sharpshooter and the what's the character's name? The war something or other guy.
The fire fucking wizard who.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
All in all, that's not a bad box to have if you're playing cities, because you're probably going to need it. Yeah,
that's a great box.
The other box
the characters, but you'll use both those units, and you'll use multiples of both those units.
Yeah, that's true.
If they make the humans not suck, actually, I should preface that.
Maybe that. They got a Seraphon box with some skinks, some warriors, some ripper dactyls. I think those are in the back.
3 ripper dactyls, the fire breathing kimono dragon, whatever the fuck it's called. Looks like a unit of warriors. 2 units of hunters of Hothai.
Hanshi or whatever they're called. Yeah, whatever. All right, so whatever. Seraphon's okay.
That's probably a good box. I don't know.
This is probably the best box, the Bone Reapers box. You get 2 Archai with it. You get 6 Stalkers, or whatever the kit is. Right? There's 2 different builds, but they're both the same kit, right? And then is that the Mortison?
It's some fucking little wizard that you don't use.
Bone wizard guy.
Yeah, he's a guy you don't.
But that's a cool box if you're getting into. I always look at these boxes and I'm like, if someone's starting a new army, it's probably a good box because you need all that probably, right?
I feel like that's probably a really good army for Spearhead too. For the Spearhead.
Oh yeah.
But regardless, that is, if you buy that box, you're gonna have a lot of stuff that you'll theoretically be able to use. A lot of cool stuff.
Now, Mike, it doesn't have any catapults in it. You'll have to get those separate. Apparently, those are the new hotness.
They're not that new hotness.
I'm just kidding. And then the ogre box. Cool.
A new box with old models.
Yeah. Noblars.
Old models in the range, other than some of the Skaven shit.
Look at that. Oh, we got a new GHB that we knew a year ago that we were going to get.
Oh, they announced that GHB's coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
So, I mean, okay, you can get the new GHB. It's a box that comes with the little handbook, the cards like we had this time. It looks like endless spell cards, but I don't know why they would. I guess all the endless spells used to be in the GHB, right?
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to give you cards for those, which I guess that's kind of convenient to have the card on the table. You know what? That's probably the best thing we're going to get, because like looking up exactly how to cast an endless spell or the rules for the endless spells is like insane in the app.
Yeah, huge pain in the ass. But I think that like even more, like they wrote better shit in the article than they did at the actual.
Oh yeah, like yeah.
Talk about some of the shit that is gonna be like that's gonna happen. Like the article makes it seem like they're gonna be you're gonna be adding tactics as part of your army.
True.
Like design in the article, not in the preview show. Didn't discuss that. We didn't know that until later when Jeff Campbell Crowley. We were talking to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it sounds like this is what they're doing," and we're like, "What?"
Yeah, they didn't even say anything about that. So
they didn't talk. I mean, honestly, I could not be more annoyed with the lack of anything that they said about Age of Sigmar.
We sat through that thing for like an hour and a half or whatever it ended up being total time, and we got like 5 minutes worth of content for AOS.
It's whatever. Next year we should just watch it on TV.
The one interesting thing I think is they're giving us objective markers. It looks like a set of 6, and they have different symbols on them. So is that a prelude to the new battle tactics?
I would have to say no, because the ones
there's like
they're putting out army ones too, and they have, well, unless they all have different symbols. I guess
there's 2 sets that are matching, and then there's like these oddball ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's significant. Like, why print a symbol in the middle of these things if it's not significant? Which is going to totally screw everybody, and objective markers. I don't know what we're going to do about that. Anyways, if that's a thing, then we'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a non-issue right now. I mean, we'll figure it out. And if they all have to be different, we'll figure out a way to mark ours so they're different. You know?
Right.
Whatever.
So they did throw up a roadmap about what we have right now, which is the Soulblight release that's going to happen. Well, they're out for pre-order this weekend, I think. And then the Spearhead box set that we talked about in the General's Handbook. Now, coming up, who knows if this is in actual order or not, but looks like they got Idoneth Deepkin, Blades of Corn, Carrigan Overlords, and Nighthaunt being the next 4 getting a book. And then the super secret incognito black and white Feck book is on the horizon. So that's what we got. Nothing super fantastic compared to all the other stuff, because the other stuff was fucking amazing, because everybody got new models.
Fucking Old World got an entire new army with all new sculpts.
Yep.
Every model brand new.
Yep.
It's Old World. Like, it's literally old in the title. Like, what? Okay. I mean, the models are beautiful. That
being said, right, like you said, the fucking army, what is it? It's the Grand Cathay, right?
Yeah.
These fucking models in this army. So I don't even care about these like little Jade Warrior dudes, but you could use them as whatever you want in cities, right? Fine.
You could use them as like some spear boys,
yeah,
or something in cities.
They got some cav that are real cool, and this is all like Asian themed. So if you wanted an Asian themed cities army, you could just use this stuff. They got a big cannon like cities has, built 2 different ways. Then they got these heroes on dragons, which are cool sculpts. Some dragon themed heavy cav looks like.
Yeah.
And then this thing, fucking Sky Lantern, is just a straight up KO conversion waiting to happen.
I'm confident there will be many.
Yeah. Get used to seeing these boys, because those things will sell out in a heartbeat for KO dudes. And then they got these giant sentinels, which can be used for gargants, I'm going to imagine. Because those things on the preview, they're super tall. Like, they're as big as gargants, I think. You have to, if you go through and watch the preview video, they show one of these dudes in the background, and he's gigantic. But they're
large.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool sculpt in its own right. So if you wanted to use those for gargants, it's cool. And then this freaking lady was probably the steal of the show for me as far as models go. She's got a human form as a wizard floating on some tactical rocks. And then this fucking dragon model is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's good.
That's a Marathi conversion waiting to happen.
Dude, this is phenomenal. This sculpt. We really liked this one. Probably out of everything, that was probably, at least it was my favorite. But anyway, that's the new Old World army. Not that we care about Old World, but they have a lot of things in this army you can use for conversions for AoS, which was pretty cool.
Tim, I don't think they're going to make you pay points for the tactics. I think it'll be like endless spells where you get them for free, but you just have to, maybe there would be like groups of tactics and you can pick which group you want to take. Or maybe you pick 5 tactics and you just take them for free, but those are the only 5 you can attempt.
Well,
I don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah, there was one sentence in the article that said, like, something like, what was it? Doing tactics in sequential order. So I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that means you have to pick tactics and then line them up in the order you're going to do them. So if you fail one turn, you have to attempt it again the next turn, or we really got to wait for that to that stuff to be published.
They're going to put points back on endless spells. Maybe.
Let me think about that for a second. If they made it to where all the endless spells are free and they required you to have them and they made you go out and buy the endless spells, then after they make you buy them, they force you to spend points to use them afterwards? I don't know. Does that seem like a thing?
I mean, that's definitely a fucking GW thing.
They might do that. I was kind of, at first I was like, no way they would do that. But then I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they would be like, now that you have them, now you're going to pay the points again.
Yeah. I don't know. They could do that.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, now I've got 2 sets of them. I just hope they don't eliminate the fucking generic ones. That'll annoy me. So that was our first night, though, right? Then we went back to the apartment. I had not slept before Ethan and I drove up there. I made him drive for about an hour and a half through Chicago. Lost his fucking mind. You have it on good authority? Well, okay. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, if they make you, then they make you. Then people will stop bringing them again. I mean,
yeah. If I have a choice of paying for endless spells or bringing more models on the table, tough choice.
Yeah. It is what it is. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. So then we went back. We tried to play some Dice Throne at the Airbnb, and
Ethan and I played. Yeah.
I was asleep for a majority of it, and then I just said fuck it and went to bed. So then we got up in the morning, butt ass early, so we could head over. And our plan was to get Ethan registered before the tournament. It was not possible. I can't remember. I think there might have just been too long of a line.
Yeah.
And so we went in and got started. So day one, how do you want to do this? You want to talk about our day one and then talk about day 2 separate, or you just want to talk about our tournament? Because that's basically what we did for the next 2 days.
Yeah, we'll just do our tournament rundown. Is good.
All right, well, I'll start with me because it was a fucking glorious shittiness. So my event started out real hot, real strong. I played against a gentleman named Adam Tori. He came in from Toronto. Super nice guy. My favorite guy I probably played in the entire event. Like the nicest dude. We chatted about like anything and everything except for Warhammer. I am a
let's take a pause real quick, because I think it'd be important for people to know what you played. Let's talk about your list real quick. Then we go down the games. Yeah, I'm pulling up your list right now.
I played Gloomspite. So I was running Trogherd as my faction. My general was Scragrot. and his unit, I think I brought 1 unit of stone trolls, or whatever they're called. And then my second regiment was Trug with a unit of stone trolls. And
look on the screen.
It takes a while for it to. Oh. Sometimes it takes a minute. Yeah, so a reinforced rock gut. And then my last regiment was a Dankold Trog Boss with Loon Touch, Clammy Cowl, a small unit of rock guts, and then a Dankold Trogoth. The intention was to take Scragrot and the rock gut unit as my my bodyguard for him to give -1 attacks. And then in my regiment 2, I would give that Dankold Prize Beast, and and I would be able to get the +1 to hit with that. I mean, that's about it. I brought Morbid Conj. I cast those spells a lot, actually. I wasn't expecting to. I kind of was thinking that it was probably a bad idea to bring those high casting spells, but I got them out. In one game against Zinch in round 4, I probably cast Shackles 4 times. So, I mean, I used them all. So it was good. So now I'm allowed to run down what I did. So anyways, so I played Adam in round 1 from Toronto. So super nice guy. We talked about fucking London. We talked about Canada. We talked about the events he goes to and he was in. He was playing Slaves of Darkness, and he was playing 2 units of Chosen, 1 unit of Varangard, both reinforced. He brought the little guy that puts the dudes in the portal, the summoner, and then basically just walked up and tried to punch you in the face. And he started strong by doing that. But I think it was like a 10-4 turn to start, and then I battled my way back because eventually I outlasted him because trolls.
Yeah, I think that was a close game too, wasn't it? Like you won by a few points or something?
So no, it ended tied 34-34, I think.
Oh, you just got him on a tactic, right?
But I got him because I scored 4 tactics and he scored.
Nice.
Yep. And we only went 4 turns because we talked about too much other shit. And I thought our game was going to be fast because I had a small army and he had a small army, and we were just, getting stuck in. However, all of a sudden they're like, you have 10 minutes. And I'm like, fuck, we're on turn 3. So, but I got the win 34-34, but I got the minor victory, moved on to round 2. So then in round 2, I played against Jason Thurman, who was playing Stormcast, Eternals, 2 Dragon lists, Karazai, and Stardrake, and then the rest of the bullshit that you would normally see. He was also a really great opponent. It was a really tough list. I was pretty concerned. He ended up charging the middle with both his dragons and dropped in his bodyguard for Karazai, and I was like, this is gonna hurt. And he missed charges with both his dragons, which were they were like 6 or 7 inch charges. They should have been easy. He rolled a 4 for one, re-rolled it to another 4, and then rolled a 3 on the other one. Jesus. And so then they were just standing in the middle, and I decided the fights, and it didn't go well for him. I picked him off, and then after that, it was just kind of me just cruising around scoring. I mean, that was some bad luck for him. I hate to see that. And later I had that same bad luck. So, it happens. But he was another great guy. I mean, honestly, all 5 guys I played, real great games. So then for round 3, I played against Kevin Engel. He was playing Ogre Maw Tribes. I have never played against Monster Trucks before. and I got fucking raffle stomped. I mean, the score was 42-30. I don't know how I got 30. I feel like I played it pretty well. I spread out so he couldn't just send everything in all at once and just like drop a missile on me. But yeah, I mean, he just knew how to play the game and knew how to play the army really well, and that was game 5 for me with this Gitz army.
Did he have any trouble getting that 5-up ward crap
no,
off?
he had it every single turn on every single fucking piece of terrain. I don't know. I mean, he probably got a little lucky with that. I only ended up killing 2 of his stone horns. But yeah, I mean that he had that everywhere. Every turn he would have it. He had multiple dudes ready with like backup in case somebody failed. He would roll it with this guy and add on, and I mean he just constantly had it on everything, and it was everywhere. And
that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a real tough game. And I didn't have the hammer that I think I needed to take the bros off.
I think was talking with Gabe about that same army because he brought that. It's like you have to have that. You have to have that little mini game where they keep up the 5-up wards on the train pieces and stuff to be able to live. Because
well, if you didn't have ward saves, then you're gonna die.
Yeah. Because like 14 or 16 wounds on a 4-up save, it's just like it's not enough wounds to live up through attacks without a 5-up ward. So
yeah, there was times. I think there was one point where I thought I could eke it out, but I missed killing a Stonehorn on a turn that I needed to, and that's why I lost. So I ended day 1 2-1. I felt real good about my army though. I beat what I thought was a really good STD list. I beat what I thought was a stereotypical real good Stormcast list. Thanks. And I was like, okay. And I lost to an army I hadn't seen before, and I barely knew how to play my army. So, I mean, I felt okay about it.
Well, you ought to feel real good about like when you took down the big baddies, right?
Right. Like I was like, oh, Slaves of Darkness is going to be tough. 1. Stormcast is always tough. 1. So I was like, okay, maybe this is what I need. This is what I want to play. 2-1 going into day 2. So I was feeling real good. I think I was at the time like 29th in the tournament. So I was happy with that. And then day 2 happened. So I just want to start by saying I went 0-2 on day 2. I'm not even going to fucking, I'll get into the games, but I went fucking 0-2. And I feel like I should have won at least one of those games.
Well, the game with Dustin's it was pretty close.
It was
lost by 6.
Yeah, I ended up losing by 6. We were tied going into the last turn. I think we were 32-32. But I just obviously, according to that, I lost 34-40. I couldn't do anything on the last turn. There just wasn't a tactic I could get. There wasn't, a lot of objectives I could get. And so I was just kind of out of steam by then. But we were tied going into that last round. And I think if things would have went a little bit differently, I could have got the dub. I mean, it was a close game. I mean, Dustin Foreman came to our event. Great guy. I really enjoyed getting the chance to play against him. So he was playing the Disciples of Tzeentch. He was just doing a basic Kairos Lord of Change list with 2 chickens. He had the Reinforced Blues, the Reinforced Flamers. The Changeling kind of just stood off in the corner. I don't know what the point of him is. He had a cast spawn for about a half a turn, and then he had a Reinforced unit of pinks. I think it was Reinforced.
2 regulars is what his list shows. Oh, sorry.
He had two 10-mans?
Yeah.
So I mean, he just played it like normal, like what you would expect out of Tzeentch. I mean, like you kill the pinks, they turn into blues. You kill the blues, they turn into brims. He brings back blues. He brings back fucking. I mean, there was just tons of horrors, but I mean, he didn't really kill anything of mine. But I guess I didn't really clear a lot of his either. I killed his. I I killed his spawn, and I don't remember if I killed any other total units.
I think when I came over there, he still had both big chickens on the table, but you guys were, I think, were just in your last round, so you might end up killing one of those at one point.
I think I got one. I think I got one close.
Yeah.
I did some shenanigans where I piled in or plowed through or whatever, and got onto one of his objectives at one point, and I think I got him down. I should have killed one of the chickens, but I rolled a 2 instead of the 3, and then it had like 1 wound left, and that was my theme: 1 wound left. As we'll talk about here, going into round 5. So into round 5, I played Ben Bauman, another super cool guy. He had just played in a GT out west somewhere. It might have been the one in Seattle. I don't know the name of it. But he was playing Iron Jaws. He was playing some Foot Schloggers. He had 1 big pig, 2 big pigs. One was his general, one was his retinue. He had a unit of little pigs. He had 2 weird knob shamans and a war chanter, reinforced our boys, reinforced brutes, and reinforced weird guys. The dudes with
Rekkas.
Yeah. This game started off real slow for both of us. Neither of us were scoring a lot of points. As you can see, we played all 5 turns, and I lost 28-26. I started behind, kind of. And then I battled back, and again, tied going into round 5. He had almost nothing left. I'd killed all of his Ard boys. I think a lot of his brutes. I'd offed one of his shamans. His war chanter was left. He had 1 shaman. Both of his big pigs were gone. And I did... So let's talk tactics for this one. So turn 1, I did Do Not Waver. I got my small unit of trolls into his wreckers on one side, and I sent my dank hold over to the corner pocket to attack his 3 little pigs. Because I win both those fights all the time. And my trolls did great. They held up the like for 3 or 4 turns against the wreckers, but my Dankhold, who was my MVP in most of my games, whiffed and did like minimal wounds, like 3 or 4 wounds to the little pigs, and then they killed him. They killed him off the board. He took 10 wounds exactly. And so I failed tactic number 1. So turn number 2, I didn't really have a lot I could do. So I did the cunning approach. I don't probably think I had any business because I went into his Ard boys and tried to take them off. I got him down to, I think, like 6 dudes. So, I mean, I put in some work, but not enough work. I didn't expect to get that one, but I failed it nonetheless. So then turn 3, I did Slay the Entourage. And his big pigs were standing in the middle, and a bunch of my shit was standing in the middle. So I thought, easy, I got this guy. So I got into him, and he had, at the end of the fucking grand melee, 1 wound remaining. So I failed Slay the Entourage. So I was feeling pretty bad about that. I had dropped 3 tactics. At the time, he had gotten 2 out of 3 tactics. And so I was like, okay, I'm behind here. I need to rally. So I did take their land in turn 4. I got it, which, I mean, wasn't that hard. Which takes us to turn 5. We went into turn 5 tied up. If I remember correctly, it was like 21-21, something like that. It couldn't have been. It had to be 22-22. And so we roll in, and I choose seize the fucking center.
Yeah.
And he's got an endless spell tying up one of my bros. And I'm like, well, that's okay. I'm going to kill your wizard. And all that shit goes away. And I get seize the center, and I win the game. And it's fucking glorious. And so Hero Face, Scraggy, needs a 6 because he kicked the fucking kicked the power stone thing, and I rolled a 4 to cast his spell to shoot to do 3 wounds to his fucking wizard. Failed it. So I was like, that's all right. That's okay. I got trolls, baby. I'm gonna fucking roll up on that bitch with some trolls. So I roll up on him with some trolls and big whiffa. Swing and a miss with those 4s to hit. And so I didn't manage to get those off either. And so I failed to kill his fucking wizard. And I was in combat in the center, so I didn't get the tactic. And that's why I lost. And I went second, so I mean I had no excuse.
Could have just fought the spells and killed him.
I probably could have just fought the spell and killed it, but I got cocky and said I'm going to kill this fucking dude. I tried to dispel the spell first.
Yeah.
That's what
so you tried 3 different things and all of it failed.
I tried to dispel the spell first. I failed. So then I tried to shoot the wizard. Failed. Then I tried to fight the wizard because I thought wizard's got less wounds. He only had like 2 wounds left, and the spell still had all 8. And I failed. And so my tournament ended 2-3 with loss, 28-26 loss. Ben Bowman was a great player, and it was a lot of fun playing him. And kudos to him. He made the right moves. I feel like I should have won that game. I really do. If I would have made any of my fucking tactics.
Yeah. Like all you had to do is just get 1 more somewhere.
If I don't fucking lose my Trog, if I don't fucking not kill his boar or his big pig, and I don't not kill his thing tying me up 3 different attempts. If I didn't do any one of those things, then I win the game. But I did. I failed multiple things on that last turn, especially. And I mean, shit happens, I guess.
Yep.
So.
It happens.
So yeah, it doesn't matter though. It was a great tournament. I really had a lot of fun. I enjoyed everybody I played. Like I said, I do want to touch on one thing before we get into yours.
Yeah.
Ethan played in his first Adepticon. He played IDK, and he also went 2-3. So pretty proud of him for that one. He got as many wins as me, which I mean, great job. But I mean, like that's a pretty tough field, and he did really well.
Yeah,
he had a good time.
I was super stoked for him.
Yeah, he got lots of compliments on his paint job. I think he did a great job too.
Yeah, so. I mean, having your army looking great without ever lifting up the brush is fantastic. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to Ethan. I mean, I don't think like is this his 3rd ever 2-dayer?
It's probably his 3rd GT.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, fantastic work.
I know he played in.
He played in the Motor City Mayhem too.
And he played Mayhem. Yeah. So that's it.
So we must be doing something right. We're teaching the boy how to win a few games.
Yeah, he'll get better.
So, all right. So I don't have stories like Josh has stories. My opponents might have stories like Josh has stories. But I, of course, played Flesh Eater Courts in the Lords of the Manor subfaction. I decided to bring the manifestation lore because I really love casting the cadaver barricade in people's way, so it halves their movement and they can't retreat or run.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, it's super cool when people put their fast units they're about to go do something with, like in between a couple terrain pieces, and then I throw that wall in front. Then that kind of just cucks them right there for a turn. They got to fight it to get rid of it. At least that's how it typically has been going. But that's what I brought. I didn't really cast anything else. I never cast the Chalice because I never really needed to do that. And I actually cast the horses twice. Because I was like out of range to do other spells and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to cast the horses and get them out on the field. Which kind of cucked myself on one turn of one game by putting it near me, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. So my list was General's Regiment consisting of Usharan as the general, reinforced Crypt Horrors, the Marrow Scrolled Herald with the charnel vestments to make him a priest, and then 2 reinforced units of Morbeg Knights. And then my other regiment was the Cardinal with a Crypt Haunter Courtier with Stronger and Madness, which gives him +2 to health, and while he has 6 deed points, gives him a 5 aboard. And then another unit of Reinforced Horrors. So all Reinforced Knights. I'm an elitist, so that's what I like to run. Let's see what my games were like. All right, round 1, I drew Sean Guerin. He's a guy that came up with a group of dudes from, now I'm going to blank. It was either Illinois or Indiana, but they had a big group of people that came up. So I think they said they're going to be at High Ground also, so we'll get to see that crew of dudes
Nice.
there next month. But I played his Fire Slayers list. Won in convincing manner, 43 to 14. I've played Fire Slayers a handful of times. I got a grasp on what they can do and what they can't do. The one thing in his list was a little bit different from what I normally seen recently anyways. He brought 2 Magmadroths. So I wasn't too worried about the little foot bros. He had one unit of reinforced shooting foot dudes, with the cannons or whatever, and the rest were all broad-axes. So he put both of the Magmadroths on one side. I don't know what you're clicking on, but that's annoying as hell.
I don't know why it's doing it.
So, anyhow, the 2 Magmadroths I thought might have been a problem because he lined them up on a flank together, and I was like, ooh, those boys are just going to start crashing down and start wiping through me, from the side, while I'm tied up with all those little bros. And I think that's what his strategy was. He did attempt to do that, but in the end, it was, the normal kill a few guys in a Feck army. Really don't kill anything in a Feck army.
Yeah, if you don't clear units, you don't win.
Yeah, and so the shooter boys were probably the scariest of the guys for me. Because he did do a good chunk of damage on his first volley of shots with that unit, so I immediately got tied up with them. Usharan handed out strike last to everything. And I think when I hit that unit back, they only had 1 or 2 dudes left. And then it was just from there, my Morbegs took out one of the Magmadroths on the side and tied up the other one. So he couldn't put it where he wanted to while I was clearing out the little bodies in the middle. And then that was all she wrote. A couple rounds of doing that, and it was, flatten little boys city. My round 2 game was the game, I think it was the game against Dylan. Yeah. So this game was super frustrating. I just remember the whole time being frustrated with this. Now, I had a very close loss, 46 to 40. So I still scored a decent amount of points. But Dylan's cities list was super hard to deal with. So it was the Van Denst, Callus and Toll, a command corps, a unit of wild core hunters, a rune lord, 2 units of reinforced hammerers, a sorceress, a unit of dark riders, and a unit of reinforced dark shards. So he had the dark shards sitting right in the middle of the board, all the way in the back. I think they had 18-inch range on their shooting, but the reinforced, they had like 61 shots or something.
Yep.
So it was like this whole army was a weight of dice army. So the hunters, he had on a flank to go up and tag stuff. Obviously, Callus and Toll just drop down wherever they want, and try to do their things. The command corps was surprisingly hard to kill. Was standing on an objective to hold it, because they're like 2 control apiece, and they're tough. They're a tough cookie to put some wounds into. The biggest thing is he had enough heroes on the board to do a bunch of different orders, and the main things were the shooters in the back and the 2 reinforced hammerer units. So once I got myself into position to take out one of the hammerers, he was able to give them, I could be quite wrong with this, but somehow he gave them orders, and he banged off a bonus prayer to give them -1 to hit, -1 to be wounded, and he all out defense to make them a 2-up save, and I think they had a 5-up ward on them. So I hit I hit them with Usharan and 2 units of horrors, and killed 2 out of the 10 guys. Or 20 guys. 2 out of the 20 guys. And I went, oh boy. Like, this is not great. This isn't going to be good for me this whole game if I can't kill the thing I'm going to kill right now, So, in the meantime, during this game, he set up the Soul Scream Bridge. So while I punched that impenetrable wall of hammers on his turn, he just said, okay, well, now I'm going to teleport them away. So they moved, because they didn't have all their buffs on him anymore. And he ran the other unit into me that he gave some buffs to. So it was super hard to be like, normally I can punch through some of their, your opponent's little ways they're going to try to trap you or whatever. But I could not against him. And even though I was able to score a decent amount of points, I think he just won some more on the primaries, because I was kind of locked in the center for a few turns. And it ended up being okay, because Dylan ended up playing John Anderson in round 5 for the overall championship. So I was pleased that I held my own against the guy that ended up, playing John in round 5. So yeah. He was 4-0 going into that. So he was very cool, very polite, and quite honestly, the fastest dice roller I've ever seen.
He came in with a plan, you told me.
Yeah, so he had a big bag of dice. He dumped them out on the table, and he had 61 of a certain type of dice. Different color, different size, or something, whatever. So he already knew he had 61 attacks from his hammerers and 61 attacks from his bowmen in the back. So every time, he would just be like, all right, here's all my dice. If I don't have somebody in range, I take out whoever's not in range of the dice pool, right? Instead of counting them all up every time.
Yeah.
And he just went bloop, and flipped them over, like chucked a couple handfuls of dice out on the table, and he was super fast at doing it. Like, it was so good to play a guy that was like, I'm going to weight of dice you and actually do it faster than most people play their normal stuff.
Yeah.
So kudos to him, man. That was an awesome experience to play a well-seasoned player, and also someone that like didn't play a horde army and like kill your time from you. So I really enjoyed playing Dylan. Even in the loss, I felt good about my play. I think I did the right things. It just was like, okay, I guess I can't kill these hammers ever. So I don't know what else I would do in hindsight off the rip, but
sounds like I got to go print some hammers.
They were really tough. I don't know, man. It was like crazy. And I had a test game with Brandon Flynn on TTS, and he played cities against me, and I handled it just fine. So I think it was one of those things that Dylan was saying, like he got everything lined up exactly perfect during the turn when I was going to do the most damage to him. So he just played it right.
Well, I mean, okay. So you started 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 going into round 3. So I was kind of like in one of those moods where I was like, you know, when you lose your first game in a GT, you're just like, dang it, now I can't win the thing. You know what I mean? Like you have those like the small hopes all the time when you start a tournament, like maybe I can 5-0 this one. But then anyways, I was like, all right, well, whatever. I took a loss. So round 3 was against Will Price in his Slaves of Darkness list. This wasn't exactly the typical Slaves of Darkness. Yeah. So when I drew Slaves of Darkness, I was like, great, I just had this nail biter game against Dylan. Now I'm going to get hammered with the freaking Vanguard Chosen list from this. But Will actually came in from Colorado with a group of his buddies. They drove.
That guy played in the last round that was from Colorado. So I'll bet there's
okay, his same group. They drove like 15 hours cross country to play in this, or come anyways, and then play. But he ran Bellicor, 2 units of Reinforced Chosen, a Gaunt Summoner, a unit of Cast Knights, and Raptrix, or Raptrix. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
right.
He was just using those to get objectives and stuff, and then they actually didn't really do anything. So I'm not sure if he kind of forgot about them or... Well, I think he was baffled because the way that our game went is that I decided to take flanks on the first turn, and I had a set of Morbeg Knights I thought were safe, but on his turn he casted the Soulscream Bridge, and then I successfully countercasted my wall into his unit of Chosen on the board, so they wouldn't be able to have enough movement to move fully within 6 of the Skullscreen Bridge to teleport over to my Morbegs. I was like, yeah, big brain play by me. I'm awesome at Warhammer. And then he walked his Gaunt Summoner through it instead, and then brought down the other unit of Chosen to front. And I was like, ah, shit. Redeployed like 3 inches, and then it didn't matter because the ones he brought down out of the sky were marked Slanesh, and they had 3d6 charge. So they completely took out a unit of Morbeg Knights, and I went, oh, here we go. This is the game where I'm going to run up against somebody that's got enough firepower to remove units from my army in one shot. So I wasn't real thrilled about that. And then I said, well, the only thing I can do is dictate the fight order, right?
Seems legit.
So I bubble wrapped Ushran in the center of the board with 2 units of horrors, as one does. Bubble wrap Ushran. So anything that charges the horrors would also be in turn in combat with Ushran. Then he can tell them to fight last. So he brought down his unit of Slanesh marked dudes and the other set of guys, and he charged them both in, and they both touched Ushran, and Ushran gave him the bad touch and said, sorry boys, you don't fight till last. Then I put everything I had into those dudes, and then he didn't have those dudes no more. So, losing 2 units of Reinforced Chosen, and also Bellicor on the same turn, because my other Morbeg Knights tracked him down. Then we shook hands.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. He has a unit of Knights and a unit of Raptrix. I mean...
Well, the Knights died round 1, or round 2.
Oh. Oh, so he literally had like Raptorix at that point.
Yeah. All he had left. Well, I didn't kill the Gaunt Summoner either, but they were standing in the back and they weren't going to do it. He literally was like, "Well, I lost." When the Chosen died, I mean, he didn't have any more firepower anyways. Even if Be'lakor stayed on the board, he wasn't gonna. That dude wasn't winning the game by himself. So
yeah.
So that one was like I was super nervous about that game, and then all of a sudden it like totally flipped on him, and so I won that one 44-26. So after day one, 2-1, Josh and I feeling fantastic when we got back to the Airbnb. Both 2-1 on day one at Adepticon. Yeah, baby, let's roll, right?
Yeah, and so then we played some more Dice Tower or Dice Throne.
The Dice Throne, yeah. Then in the morning we got back over there, shoot the shit with everybody, and of course sitting with Gabe, good buddy of ours from around here in Michigan, and we're all talking, and you and him were actually talking about, because you were right next to each other in the rankings, about playing each other, and then the pairings came out, and I drew them.
Did not want to draw him. I'm 1-0 lifetime against Gabe, so
I am not. Gabe punked me round one of Adepticon last year, so this was like my revenge game, so to speak. But it was super fun. It's always fun playing Gabe, one of our good friends, and so he brought the Monster Truck Madness with a couple unit of Frost Sabers for like doing tactics, and a couple Noblar units for screens. This game was pretty lopsided from the get-go also, in my favor. He ran up one of his Stonehorns, because I think his theory was that he ran it up with one of the units of Frost Sabers, probably to help them out so they just like could still do the tactic, and then he could kill whatever I had on the flank with his Stonehorn. And then his Stonehorn charged into my Morbeg Knight unit and only killed 2 of them. 2 or 3, I can't remember. I punched him back and killed half of his Stonehorn with half of my unit, and then I think he got super nervous at that point, because on my turn, I was going to get those dudes back, right? So I got him back, retreat and charged, killed the Stonehorn, so now he was down to 4 Stonehorns before I even really did anything.
4? He played 5? Did you say he played 5?
Yep, 5 Stonehorns. Well, 4 of the same one, and then 1 of the Frostload on Stonehorn, and then 4 Huskguard on Stonehorn. So he was still trying to do that thing with all the priests and getting the 5 aboard on everything. He got a lot of the stuff Blizzard out, but he didn't pop the super prayer enough to make it matter. So on the next turn, my Morbeg Knights flew up the sides. I killed his prized beast with one of them. The other set came over and killed the other one on the flank. And then I did get 1 unit of horrors also charged in on a third one, and that died. So after 2 turns, he had his... Oh, no. I also got Usharan's War Scroll spell off to make his other Stonehorn kill the Butcher. So, like, it all went really, like, lopsided my way. Like, all of his Stonehorns died but 1. And he still had the Frost Saber units. The Noblars evaporated. But, like, aside from killing everything, like, my turn 1, I scored 2 points.
Yeah.
Because he denied my tactic. Which was problematic because I did throw the wall out in front of the Noblars, and then they piled around it and then tagged me into combat. And I guess I didn't see that happening. So that was my fault, but I was down it was like 8-2 after first round. And then I had to be a little risky about getting into his stuff, because I thought his stuff would just kill me. the Stonehorns, but it didn't. So I killed a lot of his stuff. He didn't have a lot left. I think we played 3 rounds before we shook hands. Took the win 38-14. And then round 5, being 3-1, I thought I'm just gonna draw somebody that's gonna mollywop me. And I played Chase Fair. Super cool dude. I think we like both had kind of like the same personality where we like chummed it up and made jokes the whole fucking time, you know. So it was really super nice to play him. And then he ran Seraphon, which is Croak and a couple units of Lancers and Raptidon Chargers and a unit of Saurus Guard and a couple Ripperdactyl units. Which again, I took flanks and got one of my Morbeg Knights units killed on turn 1. So I really got to think about what I do with those dudes, because I reached out. Well, one of the reasons why I didn't just take the center is because if I would have taken the center, I would have been in Croak's range.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe I'll hang back and be out of his range for a turn. So anyways, I got my Morbeg Knights back, or, you know, half the unit, and then I put them in the back of the board to give some threat to his casters. And then the rest of it was just literally taking the charge from all of the fast Dino Riders and weathering the storm. So again, I weathered the storm on his attack with his heavy hitters, the Chargers.
Yeah.
And after that, Usharan got involved, and no, actually he did. He came in. This is what happened. I forgot. I put my stupid horses spell out. He charged the horses and not my bubble wrapped Usharan, so he wasn't going to be strike last. Piled around those fuckers, killed Usharan.
Yeah, I remember you saying you lost Usharan.
Yeah, round 2, lost Usharan, and I went, cool. I lost a unit of Morbeg Knights, and I lost Usharan. I should lose this game. However,
well, wait, there's more.
However, he was in combat with my my Haunter Courtier, which has Ren 2 damage 3 attacks. So he was always on 6 Noble Deeds.
Yeah.
So he just constantly was bringing back dudes. So he couldn't punch through a whole unit of my horrors. And then again, I was like, I gotta risk something here. So I charged in the Marrow Scroll Herald, because he's the only guy left on the board that has any fight dictation, you know?
Yeah.
Rolled my 3-up ability, made his Lancers, or made my whole army that was in combat with him strike first to get against those Lancers. And he said, What'd you just say? I said, yeah, I explained it to him up front, but I don't think you really realize what happens until it happens to you with those kind of weird abilities, where I said, yeah, everything that's in combat with my Marrow Scroll Herald, which is just that one big unit, but everything of mine that's in combat with him gets to strike first against that unit. So 2 units of horrors and the Morbeg, or not the Morbeg, the Haunter Courtier and the Marrow Scroll all attacked his unit of big hammered Chargers, and they died. And then after that, I was like, well, hunt down these little raptors, kill off all of his Dino Rider dudes, and you know, Croak was still a problem because he kept casting out the spells, but the 3 Morbegs I put in the back of the board ended up taking off the Starseer. So at the end, he just had Croak left, and he couldn't score any points. So the last 2 turns. I took a 10 and he took a 0, I believe. So it ended up being 42-23. Give me my second 4-1 ever.
Nice.
And where did that end up placing me? I think I was 14th.
I think you were 14th.
Yeah, 14th overall. Actually took home the prize for best Flesh Eater Court army. So that was awesome to bring home a trophy for that. Or not a trophy, but a title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good tournament for me. I enjoyed how my list played. I still think that it should... Who knows how they're going to tune it? Because I'm sure they're going to give it the big beat hammer. But I don't really know what the solution is because actually Chase, my last opponent, was totaling up. He said he was looking up my units cost in points to see how many points I put back on the table during our game. And I think he said I brought back 1,000 points worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I've played against it, I know.
The recursion is tough to deal with. And I don't really know what the right answer is. I know what they're going to do. They're going to increase the points. But that might not be the solution to the recursion. Like, if they don't touch the recursion, it's still going to happen the same way. So.
Yeah, but you're going to start with less shit. You're going to have less options.
Oh, yeah, but...
And the way to kill Vec has always been kill the characters.
Yep.
But you have to have, like, a way to kill the characters.
Yeah.
And so, like, shooting, maybe.
Well, it's still tough. I mean, like, Ushran and the Marrow Scroll... Well, the Marrow Scroll is invisible to anything that needs visible targeting.
When he's close to a unit.
Yeah. Ushran is bubble-wrapped in dudes, so sure, you could shoot him.
He should die, like, 1 or 2 if you have shooting.
And then the other foot dudes buy dudes, so he's going to benefit from the guarded hero. Yeah, and my last dude sits in the chair, so you got to fight the chair first.
Now, I was told by a guy that the orc player that I played in the last round that you can target the dude in the chair, or in his case, the dude in his tower, with spells. So I'm going to have to look a little closer into that. You can't shoot at him. You can't target him with attacks, but you can target him with spells, he said. And if you could do that, your guy dies as soon as I can kill him every single game. Because, like,
you still got it. And what's his range?
18.
Yeah, still got to be within 18.
Easy.
Not that easy.
Oh, it's easy.
But anyways, yeah. So, I guess the recap of the whole tournament is something probably we'll run down real quick. Yeah. John Anderson ends up winning.
Best general, no, he was best overall, right?
Yeah, best overall with his Deepkin. And then we had a handful of 5-0s. Eli Sweat with his Beast of Chaos.
Impressive.
Yeah, impressive. I don't know how Tim do with his beasts.
He was 0-3 day 1, and then he didn't make it for day 2. He said he wasn't feeling good.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't feel good either. Taking 3 losses.
Yeah, I mean, Tim would never.
No, I'm just teasing you, Tim.
Like, he rolled in and fucking said, I'm playing Beastman. And it's like, have you played any games? No.
Nope, okay. Just going to play. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to, like, I feel like his last game, there was some argument. And then, like, he lost a game where he had killed everybody on the table. And the guy's like, nope, I'm ahead of points. Game's over.
Yeah, that's kind of sucks.
Talk it out. And so that's some bullshit also. And that's some bottom table bullshit. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And then AoS coach took 3rd with his
Magro.
Yep, with his Suns. That was kind of surprising, actually. That there was a couple Suns players that did well, I think, in this.
Yeah, I feel like Suns have been doing okay.
And then Joshua Zerl, Columbus, Ohio dude, went 5-0 with his Magnikin and Nurgle.
Very nice.
Jared Noli with his Bone Reapers list. It's 5-0. Very cool.
Nice.
There's a bunch of. Well, I guess there's only 3. Caleb Walters was 4-1 or 3-1-1, or 4-1, 4-0-1.
Yeah.
Shoot, I got that right. Ryan Cal, Stormcast, and then Nick Walters also. Yeah. So, and then Dylan, like I said, the Dylan that I played finished 9th because he lost to John in round 5. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think there was a decent amount of good tournament players in this field, like there usually is here at Adepticon.
Yep.
I know some of the guys that couldn't make it that we know and played against a lot. Just because
there was a lot of good players that were Team USA players that were out doing that, or they had family commitments and stuff.
Yep. So hopefully next year we'll get those boys back in at Adepticon, and we'll see how we fare against them. But yeah, man. All in all, super fun tournament. I think you were slightly disappointed with how your day 2 went. But like this is having a 4-1 for me was super cool, because I still think, like, when you take a loss, and I think this is in my brain, so it might just be me, but like when you take a loss and then you get in a position to go 4-1, like you're 3-1 going into round 5, and you go, okay, I'm going to play someone else's 3-1, obviously someone else that's a good player, and you're like, well, I'm probably going to be 3-2, that kind of thing. And early on in that game, I did feel like that. When Ushran died, I went, shit, here it is. I had a shot at going 4-1, and I'm gonna fuck it up. Then I ended up outlasting it, but yeah. So 4-1, not too shabby. I'll take it. What else about Adepticon?
So then Saturday we went to the vendor hall. We could talk a little bit about the vendor hall.
Yep.
We went through it a few times before that. We went through it kind of with a fine-tooth comb. I picked up a few things. There was a surprising lack of knickknacks and things that you would use. Like, I was hoping to find some measuring sticks, things like that. So there was none. I did end up getting a really cool dice tray from the main booth that sold like Adepticon dice and some coins that I'm going to use as command points and things like that. So that was really cool to get all that stuff. Trench Crusade had sold out before Saturday, so not that we were going to buy anything, but we went in there and they didn't have a whole lot there. They had some pretty cool displays.
Yeah, that one display thing was freaking awesome.
I think they I had heard later that they had an actual room where they were doing demos. Excuse me.
Okay.
And so we kind of missed out not doing that, because I feel like that is a game that we may end up trying. It's like the new hotness, and it's mini agnostic, so you can use whatever you want. We can freaking print some stuff. You could use Tyranid models that don't really fucking matter. You're playing a game. So I like the idea of just being able to use whatever and print stuff and just kind of do some cool stuff with that. So so that's a thing. What else? Was there anything else really that was? I bought some wolves, like I said, and I've been putting those together.
Yeah, like Josh said, I think most of the vendor hall was like game systems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to try a new game or you want to buy into a new game, they had all of their stuff there for their particular game probably 80% of the vendor hall was just that stuff. Like, here, come demo our game, and if you like it, we'll sell it to you.
Right.
And there just wasn't a lot. There was a couple like game stores that had a booth in there to sell some minis.
And then Baron of Dice was there, and I'm sure he did great. Chessex was there.
Yeah. The people we bought our bags from last year were there again.
Yeah. And I
table
tried to get in a bag.
Whatever they're called.
Not Table War.
Battle foam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had run out, so I was unable to. I mean, I guess I could have probably ordered one, but I am not an orderer, so maybe later I'll order. But I was not doing it that day, so.
We did check out that awesome game store though. That was a little bit north of downtown. Old Guard Games.
Yeah. Oh, that was an awesome.
Yeah, that was an awesome store.
Went in there, beautiful, like just a beautiful setup, like the game store that I wish I had in my town.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Table space. It's not all bunched together, so you can kind of be off to the side playing your game and not be like interrupted by people playing all around you. It's not loud. They had like awesome art all over the place, like every model for like every game system, it seemed like. I did finally find some stuff for Song of Ice and Fire for Night Watch for Ethan there, so that was cool. Then they had like a basement with it was kind of, I mean, like they did the best they could with the basement. It was kind of dingy-ish with some rock walls and stuff. I mean, it looked kind of like castle-y, but that's where the open play area was, and so that was pretty cool. Real cool, actually.
Yeah, the store was phenomenal looking. It was all like dark wood shelves. Yeah. And looked super classy of a store for being a game store.
Yeah, I actually took a picture of some of the cases because those are like similar cases to what I want to build in my basement.
Yeah. So kudos to Milwaukee for having such an awesome game store. I mean, but yeah. So other than that, we took most of the weekend and played a hell of a lot of dice thrown.
A lot of Warhammer and a lot of dice thrown.
Yeah.
And then on my way home, I stopped at the game room in Toledo and bought some dice thrown. So next time we play, I'll have 5 new guys to add to the pool.
Nice. Very good. And but like, yeah, I think next year, like in hindsight, after experiencing like the vendor hall, like we took a day. Saturday was our open day. So we took time going through the vendor hall and everything and mingling and talking with people and stuff like that. And all that's fine, but I could have totally cut out the vendor hall for another day of gaming.
Yeah, so maybe team tournament next year.
Yeah.
If we can find a fourth, or if we if Ethan can't go and we can find 2 more.
Right.
Maybe team tournament.
We'll have to come up with something. And maybe next year, like I said, like, you know, Jack and Rob and Mike might be able to go or whatever. Maybe we'll have to incorporate those guys into a team or whatever, however they want to do it. Or I think the team tournament would be a thing that we would enjoy.
Yeah, me too.
So maybe we'll end up doing that. Yeah. But all in all, I think we both had a really good experience out there this time. Last year was my first one, and then they moved it to Milwaukee. So it didn't actually. You know what? After that first day, after Wednesday, where it was all cluster fucked, all the other days felt awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I was like, on day one, like we had already talked about. But after that, I had no problems. I felt comfortable with the walk from the parking garage. I felt comfortable with going through the fucking metal detectors. I mean, I felt comfortable with where we were going and what we were doing. It was a much better experience every single day other than the first day.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, you know, I have friends, like I said, that are like high level in running that con, and I mentioned it to him. I said, I mean, this is the story, and and they said, well, it's our fucking first year here, and we'll have signs, and we're working on it. It's a work in progress. Give us some time, and they're right. I mean, it's a bigger experience. It's a newer experience. It was new for them. They weren't sure how it was going to go, and I'm sure they're going to fix that up, and it'll go better. I heard horror stories about one of the hotels didn't even have furniture in every room, and they had like one guy went in there and there was no bed in his room. They were remodeling the entire hotel.
No.
Yeah, I think it was the Hilton. So yeah, I mean, we could have had a much worse experience. I think our Airbnb was nice. It was like 15 minutes away, but it was like close to the highway. Got right on, got right over there, got right into the con.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit because you weren't like in all the muck. I guess it's also kind of cool, like stay at a hotel that it's attached to an event, so you can just walk down there whenever you want to.
Yeah, and
or go back to your room, or so
it would have been cool. And I've stayed at Adepticon in the main hotel before at the Renaissance when it was there, and it was awesome. But it was also kind of expensive, and I mean, if you don't have like, I think it was like, I mean, it was a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, and it was still fairly expensive. And I didn't have any roommates that I stayed with; it was just me, so I had to eat that cost, and it was cool. But I've had plenty of good times staying other places too.
Yeah.
So, and I can always go over there. Like you can always go over there at night. You don't.
Yeah.
If you want to play late or something. But usually by the time we got out of there, I was like ready. Because I mean I had to flip anyways. And so.
Yeah, I guess that was the other part. Like, I know it's a business in there, and they have pricing for their food that's outrageous and all that because they know you're going to eat there instead of like leaving the place.
Yeah, that's what Tim was just talking about in the chat.
So I don't know, man. Like paying $20 for a couple little tiny chicken tenders and some fries is kind of outrageous.
And then I know, but that's all I ate. So I mean, it's not like you're eating a ton. Like you eat.
No, I know, but then that beer, like it cost me $40 that one day for lunch because I bought one beer for $18 and a meal for like $18.
Like, okay, like I mean, I don't know. I don't drink when I play games or when I gamble or when I do anything like that. I have to think. So to me, it's like it's like counterintuitive. Like I don't. That's not what I'm interested in doing. I know other people do, and I'm not, whatever. But like to me, I wouldn't have bought the beer. I mean, you didn't know what the cost was either rolling into it.
Yeah, for sure. Wouldn't have bought that beer if I knew when she flipped that screen it was going to be fucking $18.
Tim, I mean, I guess my point is the same. Don't buy the pretzel and the pop. Just get that water and then refill it.
Yeah, at least they had a spot where you could do that at.
I do hate team tournaments, but I hate team tournaments because I hate our team both gets to attack, your team gets to both attack. That's not how they do it at Adepticon. They play correctly, where our team picks one player, they get to make an attack. Then your team picks one player, and that guy gets to make an attack, which is the correct way to play. Yeah. I was never hungry. I don't know. I guess I just eat less than you clowns. I don't know. It's whatever. You could probably smuggle in some shit.
Yeah,
I think you're diabetic. I guarantee you could bring in some candy. They would let you.
I think Gabe brought a lunchbox in, and he was eating lunch out of that. So I mean, you can do it. What are they gonna say? Like they're really gonna stop you?
For us one day, and he shared.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did do that too.
I mean,
so he probably did the right thing and didn't spend any money in there eating. Yeah, but I mean, we could always we could do that at some year if we ever thought ahead of time.
Bottom in your shit. I know for a fact people were smuggling shit in. When I finally saw Brad on Saturday, I think it was Saturday. He had a glass of wine that was this tall, like bigger than my head, and it was full of wine. So I promise you, there's a way to get it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't even think that the people at the metal detectors gave a crap what you brought in. They just wanted to make sure it wasn't a fucking gun or whatever, right?
Yeah, no,
Probably.
I feel like some days they were more lenient than others. Some days they were more lenient than others. But yeah, you saw Falk though. I sent him over to say hi to you. Falk came by. He said he wasn't gonna when I saw him in Chicago, and then there are attached hotels, but you still got to go through metal detectors to get through. They didn't check your shit. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they only had him at the main door. I don't know. Either way. Yeah, sure.
You gotta go and go through that way. I don't know. But overall, my experience in Milwaukee was a positive one. Also, apparently, it's only 4.5 hours away from Lansing, so I'll be going from Lansing next year because I'll be driving 2 hours or an hour and a half less, which is was awesome.
Unless you got to pick up E.
Yeah, well, if I have to get E, then I'm gonna be like, all right, you can drive, bitch. Get to Lansing. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But and I'll probably drive at night because Chicago sucks.
I took that 294 around Chicago on the way home also, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like if you you had called me at one point, and if you called me when I was home or like when you had gotten home, we would have gotten home right around the same amount of time. I did stop for 30 minutes to poop, and we stopped once for gas, but otherwise,
yeah. Well, we stopped. Well, we stopped for lunch when I texted you back, and then we took off from that exit, and then I realized I should have just got gas while we were stopped there, so we had to stop again later down the road to get some gas. But I think I got home just about the same time you got home after you went to the game room.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah.
So
so I mean, I probably beat you by maybe a half hour.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't at the game room very long. So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it wasn't a bad drive. It's totally doable. But there was all this talk about, oh, it's going to be another hour away from us because it's in Milwaukee now, and it really wasn't even that bad, to be honest. The drive.
Like going through Chicago on the way there was rough because I made Ethan do it and I was sleeping, and he was stressing. But it's a good experience for him. And then driving home, we did stop on the turnpike a handful of times just because we were downtown Chicago, and that's what happens. But then once we got through that, it was smooth sailing. And then behind us was tornadoes. So we got out of there early enough to beat that. So
yeah, that was pretty wild there for a minute. But yeah, I had a fun time. I think our whole group had a great time. Even the wife and the daughters had their all like excursions, and they did some fun stuff for them. They had a great time.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably going to be on the list of stuff to go to in the future still.
Yeah, I think so. Tim, you have to get one of those hotels though for $500 for the whole week. And was that for just you, or was that your whole group?
Yeah, I feel like that's a split. Yeah, I feel like that's a split. He split that with somebody probably. Because I don't think you stay there for 4 days for $500. There ain't no way. All those prices were like $160 a night on those, I believe. I mean, they were booked.
They were booked the day.
Yeah.
The day they came out. I mean, I looked because I figured, well, I'll get a hotel and then we'll figure out what we're doing. And then if we're doing Airbnb, we'll do an Airbnb. If we're doing, whatever. And I can always let it go. But I couldn't get a fucking room day one. I tried. I mean, shit opened up later. Like people would cancel and then give their room up. And they opened up new blocks and shit. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I got to be more prepared and like have my credit card out and ready to roll right then when the fucking shit opens, or find out the dates and just fucking book it outside of the room rates. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's if you wanted to be at the hotel attached. Other than that, it doesn't matter.
I don't really care that much about that.
Yeah.
Oh, you drove 15 minutes, so you weren't.
Oh, attached. They weren't in the attached. Okay, that makes more sense.
So then, we drove 15 minutes off site too. So, and I don't think ours was much more than.
It was less than 6. It was 5 something. Yeah.
So I mean, but we had a whole house right above a bar
with a full kitchen too. So we were able to eat there.
Miranda cooked a bunch of shit one night. Yeah, I mean, so I mean, I liked our sitch. Mm-hmm. Would stay in Airbnb again.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, prepay parking was definitely the way to go. We saved quite a bit, it sounds like, compared to what you did. And we were down the road a little bit. It was the one day it was sketchy, but
yeah, it was one city block away, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad walk. Except for that day, and like really even that day, like you guys took all the shit into I dropped you right by the door. You walked across the street, took it all in, and then I snatched up my umbrella and walked the fucking block and a half, and it was fine. So
it was all gravy, and then we had 70-degree days, so that was cool too.
1 70-degree day.
Well, and coming back today was also 70. On the drive back for some reason.
Weird. Yeah, I didn't understand it either. I was like, why is it fucking nice today?
Yeah.
Like it was cold when we left, and then like as soon as we got out of Milwaukee, it was in the 70s.
Yeah, it was strange.
So,
but yeah, like I said, I think we'll do that again. If you guys were there, you catch this video later on. If you're not in the Discord or something, leave some comments in the video. Tell us about your experience at Adepticon, or if you plan on going in the future, whatever.
Tell us if you agree or disagree.
Yeah. I don't know how much justice we really did it on this show, but we told you how we felt about stuff and what we did while we were there. So. The one thing that we did not do, which I wish we would constantly think about this kind of thing, is we fail at taking pictures. We literally just fail.
I took a lot of pictures of my games and stuff, but I didn't really take pictures of the con.
I know, that's what I mean. Like we didn't stop and take pictures like of us doing things. We didn't get like even when we stopped and talked with AoS coach for 15 minutes or so, we didn't just be like, oh, well, let's just get a picture real quick. Like we could have done that, and he would not have said no, I'm sure.
I mean, it was cool that he stopped. He was just waiting for Madigan to finish the massage anyway. So
that's a good question, Tim. Don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 5 of us there. I mean, what are the other guys you're talking about?
I mean, Nick doesn't.
Yeah, Nick couldn't go or didn't want to go or something. And then Adam had ball tournaments this weekend, so
and then Luke and
Rick couldn't go, maybe.
Might not be their spring break. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could not have been. Not really sure.
Nick wouldn't go. Nick said that he would come with me to Kentucky, but he's going to go with his wife and split the room, and then just go walk around in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, he wasn't even going to play in the tournament. He just wants to go to Kentucky.
And I'm like, nah, I'll just go by myself.
So, but anyways, I think that should wrap it up. It's 2 hours of a show. It's pretty good.
Yeah, this is the perfect amount.
Yeah. And it This guy's got to work in the morning, so I'll probably be tired.
Yeah, well, that's how you do it.
Yeah, baby.
Yep, I'm gonna go build some more wolves until I get tired, and I have a phone call to make before I even get into that, and then I'm gonna go antique shopping in the morning.
Nice.
Booyah!
All right, guys. Until the next time we do a video.
Goodbye,
Peace
friend.
out.